Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Today, I have a very special guest. She, well, I have known her personally for many years because she has an amazing healing hands abilities. And she is a very professional masseuse, but also she masters energy practices that can be complemented and actually benefit the clients like me. So, as you can imagine, I don't visit her enough, but every time that I receive a session from Brandy, it is really a whole alignment and healing. And then I go next door and receive a chiropractor adjustment. So, actually, in that condition, I can remain aligned, and it helps me to keep going and at the same time help other people who are in need, remotely or in person. So, Brandy, thank you for giving us an opportunity to actually interview today you and your amazing work. So please just say who you are and what you do and why you have chosen Reiki as one of the practices that can truly benefit humanity and even animals and even feng shui conditions, in different aspects of our lives, and how powerful it is and what really Reiki is all about, because some people may not really know yet what
Sure.
it is.
So thank you for having me. My name is Brandy. I am a licensed massage therapist and a Reiki master. Um, I have been doing body work for 17 years, Reiki for 5. How I became interested in energy modalities is actually, I believe it was my life purpose to do. It's one of those um, life moments where if it was just a calling. So I came to know it just by doing continuing education and reading up on it, and it was something that I wanted to do. Now, what Reiki actually means is Reiki, in definition, Rei means universal life. He means life force energy. So together, that is universal life force energy, which flows through all of us. It's an ancient Japanese modality, created in the 1920s by Dr. Mikao Usui. It's basically a hands-on or hands-over modality over the person's body and the practitioner harnesses their life force energy and directs it to the recipient. And the Reiki will flow to the energy bodies that need to be balanced. Now, the energy bodies are spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental. So they're all through the 7 chakras of root, sacral, solar plex, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. So that's how that works. And they can just be, you move along the energy bodies and you can actually feel where there may be some stagnation or there may be feeling just low energy. So where we do is we just we hold that space for them until they start to go clockwise and clear and cleanse. So that's basically how it works.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for explanation. This is for someone who is interested in learning different modalities, because truly being a wellness practitioner for over 25 years have shown me that more and more people are turning into alternative ways to support their health and happiness for themselves or their loved ones, or even have a full practice and help people around the world, because it can be as beneficial and complementary as, you know, um, the along with the traditional Chinese medicine, for example, but
Mhm.
also in great way to support our Western medicine. And like I always say, that if you're not 100% sure, do both ways, because, they complement each other. It's not like, receive the blessings until and take the medicine until you are fully and 100% normalized blood pressure. Don't just
Yeah.
quit like I can do that because I trust the modalities that I am working on, and
Right.
it has served so many people. But we always say, advice with your doctor. But if you're
Mhm.
curious to introduce something else that is 100% harmless and has
Mhm.
a possibility for a person to actually transform the chronic health condition, so we can be pain free, so we can get off the medicine as the potential outcome of practicing energy modalities and more. So why not to try? It's
Exactly.
absolutely
And
100% pain free from my
right.
experience.
Exactly. And when you combine massage, so that's a physical healing, with a energetic, which is Reiki, you combine that for a total body alignment of physical and emotional, or physical and energetic alignment. So I think that's like it's an overall combination of just it's
Absolutely.
powerful.
Absolutely. So, Brandy, do you think that energy work is like, why do so many people think it's like a woo-woo thing, or it's like something that is not tangible because it's not really visible, but it produces the
Exactly.
results. I mean, and why this has changed for over years. And now many modalities have been complementary practicing in the hospitals, schools, universities, and rehabilitation centers. Like, what changed if that all was woo-woo even 10 years ago?
Right. That's a great question. For me personally, it's always been like a stigma of if I can't see it, it's not real, right? So people have to realize that energy is all around us. We are energy. Our thoughts are energy. Everything that we touch, and the way that Reiki is it's all around us. So I'm not quite sure of where or how people have come to find it. I think it's just that everybody's trying to find alternative ways to get better. And I think it's one of those, I don't want to take medicine anymore. I want to find a better way to heal my body. And so that's how people come to it. They explore it, and some people will find that it works for them. Some people, and it's a practice that you have to keep on ongoing. And you can, once you spread the word of others to others, and they've experienced it, they will go and tell their friends. So it's a domino effect on how people come to it. So yeah.
Absolutely. 100% agree with you. And so happy that actually the medical field and the science was the hardest to probably to break the taboo of
Yeah, I think
the
it's still.
spiritual realm, I think. And now they are really walking side to side, and I would say holding the hands. And even the scientists are now 100% sure and know that we are just lots of energy fields that
Mhm.
are here, and we are all energetically, actually quantumly entangled. And
Exactly.
if I feel happy and I am on my healing journey, then it quantumly entangles through this invisible race of
Mhm.
magnetic felt, and the energy that penetrates through everything and everyone around the world, and much more. So,
Right.
I mean, we can deny that it doesn't exist, but then this situation where you kind of think about the person, and then that
Mhm.
person calls you or text message you,
Right.
and you would
Exactly.
think, how did this happen? And this is
Mhm.
exactly how it happens. Like, you cannot point the finger. It's not like you can prove that
Right.
that person was getting your kind of missing them, so had a feel of connecting with you. I mean, you
Yeah.
cannot prove it exists, but so many things that it's possible. So how do you explain this?
That's a good one. I feel like there is that connection between people, and that, as you say, that quantum energy that goes through. Like, you think of something, or like you're in the car and the song pops in your head and then it comes on. Yeah, you talk, like you just said, that I thought about you one time, and here you go. You come through the door. It's just, we're connected in that way. Universally, all of us are, collectively. and
Absolutely.
and that energy
Absolutely.
just gets, like, a bit pings, especially if you are aware and you're aligned through that way. It's hard to get that connection if you're blocked in any way, if there's an unbalance in any other way. So yeah, I think that's how that works.
Brandy, and since you were born to do this, literally, to actually contribute to the happiness and health of human being and everything that is alive, because people think that we can only work with energies actually on the human being level, like
Mhm.
have
Mhm.
practiced with lots of dogs or animals, or even like
Right.
horses that couldn't get
Mhm.
pregnant, like, so many stories. But also on the feng shui fields, like I remember that some years ago it was like pretty cold, and we had snow here in Phoenix, Arizona, and we almost never have it. So all the trees got frosted, but I kind of worked with my fruit trees, like oranges, mere lemons, grapefruits, and even the flowers. So when I was walking my dogs outside of the community, like the tips of all the bushes and trees were kind of browned, so they got frosted. But on
Oh.
my property, nothing
Mhm.
got frosted. And at that
Right.
moment, I had such an aha moment that that energy work not only can be done, and not only human beings can benefit, but also animals, like trees, bushes, even mountains and the rivers, and you name it, right? So
Right.
what's your experience on this? Like, have you have some healing stories helping someone else other than human beings?
Yes, I when my best friend, her kids uh, like to rescue birds. It seems as if they're hurt, and they'll bring them back from work or coming home from school. And she calls me and tells me about this bird that she has. And I said, "Oh," she says, "he can't fly. If something's wrong with his wing, it doesn't look broken, but there's something wrong." So I went over there and I looked at him, and yeah, there was something wrong with him, but he just looks sad, like, oh, he's hurt. So what I did was I performed some Reiki, very loving and gently, praying for him as and using that energy towards that wing. And he was very calm. And I remember her husband saying to me, he was biting everybody. I can't believe he was you let you get so close to him. So, and I said, "Well, this is what it is." Yeah, I calmed him down, and he was feeling it. And sure enough, it was a few days later, that he was moving that wing a little bit. Try feeling more energized. He had that look in his eyes where it was clear. And then, sure enough, he flew away. So that was a great experience for me. I think that was my first animal, really.
Mhm.
And then also dogs, if they're lethargic, or I do that for my dog sometimes. I share a dog, and whenever I see him, he comes over, and I'll just align him. Sometimes he's sad, sometimes he has separation anxiety. So I get into that heart, and his little crown, and I try and balance everything out, and he seems happier and more secure. Yeah. So I love
That's
that.
great. That is
Also
absolutely.
plants, and I see your plants in the background. Plants love Reiki. My boyfriend and I use Reiki on his plants constantly, and we always think, oh, this one's not going to make it, and then we just cover it with the hands, and then they start to come to life. So yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
it's interesting. And like I went for a trip, just like no, I went for a long trip, like for a month and a half, to see my family. And when I came back, all the plants were like, you
Right.
know, like, and like they were just not really vibrant. Like I got
Yeah.
used to them. And
Hmm.
I was like, wow. So the energy has changed. So I came back and I talked to them and I loved them. Just in a few
Yes.
days. Whoa. They were just so happy to see me. And, with my
Exactly.
energy, it's just amazing. I almost felt like they missed me.
They did. They did. They miss, and they also, words have vibration and frequency and energy. And so when you talk to your plants with love and happiness, they're going to be more vibrant and bold and look really happy. I mean, and then that's been a study actually when they talk to plants in that manner. So yeah, everything has energy. Everything responds to that, which I think is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've noticed that, everything and everyone needs love. And if
Mm.
we sometimes we're too busy like to offer the affection or like say kind words, and sometimes we are rushing somewhere and we forget like to give love or kiss our family, or even can snip at somebody because we are
Right.
kind of like rushing. And
Hmm.
it's like always put yourself like in their shoes, and would it hurt you? And it hurt human being, and it would hurt a plant, a dog, or
Oh
even
yes.
a chair you may kick in. So it's
Hmm.
it's so beautiful to increasing awareness kind of brings us to a condition where we are becoming the field of love, and
Yes.
we recognize the field of love
Right.
within another person or object, or
Right.
you know animated or live.
Right.
But have you had an experience of maybe it's all we're talking about, like they're living organism like humans and dogs, and have you experienced on having interaction with something that is animated? It's not even live. I mean, it's live, but
Hmm.
not everybody
Right.
knows it's actually live. So, any examples of that
Of feeling something from something that's animated. Uh,
from another subject? Yeah, like, or like I always say, have you expressed the gratitude to the chair that you've been sitting
oh,
at your
sure.
office for so many
Oh,
years? Like,
I
and
would
people are like,
say yes.
what?
Yes, and when I started doing this, and becoming more aware of everything has energy, and to be grateful for everything and to everyone. So I would wake up in the morning and express gratitude for the bed I slept in, the pillow that I have, and how much I love my coffee table and my chairs that I sit in, the stove and the pan, and also when I'm walking in nature, just to balance myself out, is I love to talk to the trees, and I thank them for the pure air that they create for us, and that the beauty that they have in their majestic trunks and their leaves and their branches. And so, yeah, I do everything, even, the lamp that has great light, like just the truck that I drive that takes me to work. I love it, so I express a gratitude, and, and it runs well, really, it does. I mean, there can be experiences where I was, there was something wrong with the truck, and I didn't know what it was. And so I thought, I better go to the mechanic really quick before I do anything. And all of the time I'm telling the truck, okay, I love you. Everything's going to be fine. It's two seconds up there, right? And we get there, and he pulls up the hood, and he looks inside, and he says, I don't even know how you got here. This cable to the battery is barely touching. And I said, well, it's Reiki.
Love brought my truck there, right?
That is
Love
right.
and
And
care.
Reiki, yes, the Reiki is the frequency of unconditional love. I just want to let everyone know that. So, if you haven't experienced it, really, really try and get out there and feel it.
Yeah, I remember when we had the class, actually, I was training Divine Healing Hands that day, and one of the new students, she had a Mercedes, and actually she couldn't actually get it started. Like, we already finished the workout, the class, and everybody kind of was on the way to go home, but her car would not start. And then I said, okay, everybody, you all received as you all became the healers today. So now it's the time the universe gives you the opportunity to
Right.
practice and see if this is working, not just for human beings, but how about if we offer a blessing as appropriate for the car to start the engine so it can start by itself. Because she was a new person, she kind of called a tow company anyway, and
Mm-hmm.
they came. But when they came, she was already driving on the back on the parking
Um,
lot, and
right.
everybody was just amazed
Yes.
that this totally dead car can be
Mm-hmm.
restarted and actually drive. And the guys from a towing company were a little confused why she called them, because she was
It's smart,
totally
though.
fine, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's just really the energy. The healing modalities are so powerful if
Mhm.
we just allow them to give a chance to create a difference in different aspects of people's lives, including like our own lives and lives
Yes.
of our loved ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree. Mhm.
So since our event is called How to Manifest at the Snap of Your Fingers in Excellent Health, Flourishing finances, harmonious relationships, and growing on your spiritual journey, can you give us an advice or the keys? What are the keys to actually for the manifestation process in everyday life?
Manifesting, I believe, can come from the heart. And as long as you are open and you have love, and you have great relationships with others, and you want to manifest something, I believe if your heart is open, you can. Because that part of manifesting is um, feeling and seeing and believing that you can have it, right? And so I think that starts with personally self love and awareness of who you are, inner love, and that basically is all encompassing of manifestation. So whether it's love or money or career, whatever you want, you can have it as long as that heart is open to to believing that you can have it. And I think that's the, at least for me, that in my experiences. So
Absolutely. Heart is definitely a receiver. sometimes we even say, that awareness actually, in order to be more aware, we have to keep the heart open. But also, even in Bible, somebody told me there is a line that they say, guard your heart. And what it means is guard your heart from the pollution, from the
Mhm.
negativity, like
Mhm.
from gossip, which is all negative energy. I mean, it's
Right.
all in different scripts saying differently, but it all means the same. Like,
Mhm.
and the way that I've learned to keep my manifestation um little manifestation machine that is my heart, to keep it more clean and more often. And this is just Buddha, and they were so wild. I have 3 dogs, so
Hold
I had to
on.
calm them down, and he loves to sit on my lap. So um sending him loving energies to calm down,
Yeah.
and really
All right, let's
he,
try.
he came down just like in seconds, talking about,
Oh.
what we radiate also directly affects um other human beings or other objects or other living souls that are actually also um, can be affected. So let's say if we are angry, like, or let's imagine that we are around people who are kind of like upset or angry.
Mhm.
We cannot really, we don't see this energy, right? But it feels so yucky. So the field of anger is like, you don't want to be around it, period. It's like, nobody can pay you money. So you would be willingly say, yes, give me $1,000 and 5 minutes I will tolerate, to stay in that anger condition, right? So what I'm saying is, even though you cannot put the finger on it, you 100% know that there is a energy that is loving, positive, and yucky energy you don't want to be around. So this works exactly the same with Brandy and I and all of you. Whatever you are experiencing, this is going to affect you, and this is going to affect others. So you are radiating love and light and forgiveness and positive emotions. You are healing yourself. You are expending that energy that actually is benefiting you and your aspects of life. The same goes if you're experiencing something negative. It's like, I often looked at this as unpleasant negative energy, even like a poison, the silent poison, that first it affects us, it affects our organ systems, our energy overall, the field that we are, you know, consist of. And of course, it affects other people, because if you were ever in a fight or disagreement with something, do you remember how yucky that feels? So try to get out of it as quickly as possible. And Brandy, what would be your suggestion? Like, if people are already caught up in this energy, negative energy, what is the quickest and the safest way to get out of that negative energy and transform it into a more positive energy?